Everybody, welcome. Hey everyone, welcome. So I'm trying to see if I could share this directly in a Facebook group. Oh, I can. Facebook group? Oh, I can. Here I am. Facebook group? Oh, I can. Here I am. Here I am. Hold on, guys. Okay, so I can actually share this in one of my groups so that everyone could see what is happening. Okay, so if you are joining me live, let me know where you're tuning in from and let me know if the sound is okay, if you could hear me. Hopefully you can. If you could hear me well, let me know. If you can't, write something in the comments. I will check it in a few seconds. I just want to share the link, hopefully. Yeah, it's been posted. Okay, so welcome to today's training. If you are catching the replay, welcome. If you are on live, welcome. For those of you that are new to the channel and to my lives, I'm happy that you're here. I am Christina. Let me lower the light because I look kind of pasty and I don't like it. Oh, no, that's not good. All right, better. So I am Christina. I am a daycare business consultant. I'm a mentor and strategist, and I love helping people set up systems and policies to make sure they free up their time as they operate profitable, successful daycare centers or childcare centers, whatever you want to call it. So a little backstory about me and who I am. I am not a crazy lady. I am a mom of 4. So I have twins that are 5, and I have an older boy that's 13 and a second boy that is almost 8. I am a daycare owner. I've been an owner since 2004. And I also am certified, qualified to work, as an early childhood educator. I have over 21 years experience in the field and love every second of it. I love the business side. I love the educational part of it. So combined together is my sweet spot. I love talking about business. I love talking about ways to increase sales. I love talking about marketing in daycares. So it's my thing. It's my jam. It makes me feel alive. And I love sharing little tips and tricks or anything that I do in my center that could help you in yours. So whether you're starting out or whether you have been in business for a while, but you're kind of struggling, like we all struggle. You're not alone. Struggling with certain things. Maybe it's hiring. Maybe it's setting up systems. Maybe it's templates. Whatever it is, feel free to reach out. Feel free to message me directly or comment below one of my videos, and I would be more than happy to help if I can. So today's video is all about policies when it comes to vacations, but not for your staff, not for the employees, policies for your customers, and what you can do in those months where you do experience a dunk in income, because we all do. We've all been there. When we started our daycare center back in 2004, obviously we weren't at full capacity, but when we did reach full capacity, it was hard. Some months were harder than others. And, there's some months where you're booming and registration is booming and the phone is ringing off the hook and you feel amazing. And then there's other months where things are so slow, where you feel like, no one knows you exist and that you're doing something wrong, or that your center is not what it has to, what it's supposed to be or supposed to look like. And we really get down on ourselves, and it's very stressful as a business owner, obviously, because you do have overhead, you have things to pay every single month, regardless of how many registrations you have. So it's hard and it's tough, and you're not alone. Every single business owner, no matter what business you're running, goes through ups and goes through downs. So in childcares, and specifically in childcares, there's a few things that you can do to help, especially when registrations are at a low due to vacations. So obviously everyone has the right to take a vacation, right? I mean, we work hard, the parents work hard, the kids are in daycare most of the time, from like 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. And, time comes when a parent wants to take a vacation, which is great, and obviously they can. But I believe that you need to have policies in place to protect your business, to protect the spot, and obviously to make sure things are running smoothly, right? You want things to be running smoothly. You want income to be coming in to be able to pay for your amazing staff and the food and the caterer and all that stuff that you have going on. So the number one thing I tell everyone, and this is the number one thing that I suggest for everything in business before you do anything, is make sure you know the law. Make sure you reach out to your provincial officials, to your state officials, anyone that's in charge of rules and regulations when it comes to childcare services in your area, in your hometown. So there's laws, there's bylaws, there's all sorts of things that we have to follow as daycare business owners. So we have to make sure that we are within our legal rights. So when we're creating policies, that we're not just writing all sorts of things in these booklets that a parent can just show up and say, hey, she's telling me to do this, but, it's not legal. What can I do? Can I make a complaint? And you don't want to get in trouble, right? You don't want to have issues with the law when it comes to your business. You've worked hard, you've sacrificed, and that's not a good place to be, because you can literally lose everything. And that's not what I want, right? And I'm sure that's not what you want. So the number one thing you need to do before you write any kind of policy booklet is know the law. Know it inside out, print it out, keep it updated, keep it in a binder in your office, and make sure you know the law. So when you do reach out and you ask your city official or your provincial official about vacation policies, I've written out a few questions you can actually ask to help guide you before you write your policies, okay? So one of the things that I asked, I remember when I started writing out my policies, was, can I charge my daily fee while my customers are on vacation? Can I charge the fee? If I'm charging $25, $30 a day, instead of losing that income, can I still say, okay, your vacation is set, you're scheduled for your vacation. We will know that little Johnny will be absent for 2 weeks, but you still have to pay to reserve your spot. Can I do this, right? So that's one of the things you could ask. Can I temporarily fill the spot while the child is absent? Are you legally obliged to keep the spot open? Can you fill it temporarily with someone else? So let's say a child wants to go away for 2 months, because this does happen. It happens in my center all the time. A parent will come and tell me, I'm going back to my country and I need 2 months off. Do I have the right legally to say, okay, that's fine, but I will have to temporarily replace your spot for those 2 months or the exact dates that you will be absent? I in Quebec can do this. We legally can temporarily replace the spot, but I know there's some areas that they cannot. So this is why you need to ask questions and ask clear questions and write everything down. So can I temporarily fill the spot while a child is absent? So I won't charge, let's say, little Johnny that's away for 2 weeks, but I will charge the replacement child that will come take the spot up for 2 weeks. Can I ask for a notice before the vacation? This is a big one, because sometimes parents, bless their heart, sometimes they'll show up on a Friday and tell you, Monday, we're on vacation, we got tickets, and we're going to Mexico for 2 weeks to relax. And you're stuck with a spot that you won't be able to fill because it's so short notice. You don't want to seem mean or, make them feel bad. So what do? Can you legally ask them to give you notice? And how much time? Like, is it 2 weeks? Is it 2 months ahead? Is a week enough? Ask if you can ask them for a notice before they start their vacation. And is there a maximum time a child can be absent for vacation reasons without losing their spot? It has happened in the past in my center where a child never came back from a vacation. So I don't know what happened exactly. I don't know if the parents had a change of heart. I don't know if they stayed in their country. I don't know what happened, but I know that it's happened in the past that parents never came back from vacations. So legally, how much time needs to pass without someone giving you an update on what is happening when they're coming back? How much time has to pass for you to say, okay, this spot is reserved for this client without getting in trouble? Ask this question, make sure it's detailed, make sure it's clear, because these are situations that, even though they seem weird, they do happen in centers. So now that you know the law and you know exactly what you can do and what you can't do, it's time to write your policy. Keep it short, keep it point format, keep it clear. No one has time to read pages and pages of policies. Parents are busy, you're busy. So if you want your parents, your customers to read your policy booklet, you need to make sure that it's easy to go through and that it's in point format and that it's clear. And you start writing your policy. You start writing, stuff that you will have to add is things like notice, how much time is, you demand a notice in writing or by email or by text or verbal, whatever the case is for your business. Make sure the parent knows how and how long before they need to give you a notice. Are they going to be charged for their time off? Will you temporarily fill their spot? I would tell them so they could know that you will be gone for 2 weeks, but this person will be filling up your spot for 2 weeks. But once you are back, the place is yours again. What else would I add? Vacation forms. Yes, this is a big one. Make sure that every client knows that around April time or March or whenever the time is right for your business, that you will hand out vacation request forms. Just like you do for your staff, you do the same thing for your parents. And then on this form, it's very simple. They just have to write in their name, the child's name, date it, and then there's a nice calendar that they get to take a highlighter and just circle the days that their child will be away. Not only is this easy to stay organized in the office, but it's also simple for the parents to fill out. I mean, they know when their 2 weeks vacation will be, obviously, if they've planned it out in advance. So they could just circle the dates that they will be absent, and you get to keep this in your office in a binder. And this is your notice time. This is when you know exactly who's going to be absent from what age group is going to be missing, how many kids, and it'll actually give you time to get organized and find your replacement, or organize the staff's vacation times, or maybe order less food those times when there's going to be less attendance in your center. So I did create a free template for you to use. I will post the link in the comment section. It's a very basic template. This is what I use in my center. Feel free to take it and tweak it and make it your own as usual. And you can find it at www.profitabledaycare.com/vacation request form. But I will post the link below. So feel free to use that or pass it along to someone that does not have one. So huge. One of the reasons why I like being prepared ahead of time, especially when it comes to vacations and in the summertime, is that in the summertime, it might be less busy, meaning you might have less children in your center, but it's busy, I find, for daycare owners, because this is the time when you start planning for fall. You start planning girls' vacations, your staff's vacations. You start trying to substitute teachers and make sure that everyone gets the vacation time that they need, but that their group is covered in terms of a replacement for that week, and that activities are planned out. And then you also have transitions where new kids are coming in to start transition slowly, or maybe you are transitioning, let's say, group A into group B. So there's a lot of moving pieces that are happening in a center in the summertime. So if you do have notice, in your request forms, it makes your job so much easier, because it actually lets you plan ahead. It lets you plan your summer ahead. And I'm a huge planner. Like, I love planning, if you haven't noticed. And it just makes my job so much easier. And it makes my planning when it comes to new registrations, transitions, ordering food, fixing up the menu, just anything that needs to do with the day-to-day operations. It makes it so much easier, because I know when the quieter months are going to be, and I know when the busier months are going to be, right? So it keeps everything planned out, well organized, and this is how you want to be when you run your business. So other things you need to detail in your policy guidelines: your fees during vacation, if they need to leave payment before they leave, if your center accepts checks only, maybe they need to leave their payment before they leave, or settle their invoice before they go on vacation and enjoy themselves. Make sure you have the request form in your hands. Make sure that the parents have informed you on the exact dates, and make sure, if you are replacing, the spot temporarily, make sure that the parents know that you're replacing the spot, because sometimes what happens is they say that they will take 2 weeks off, and they end up taking only 1 week, and then the next week the child shows up. but you've already replaced their spot with another child. So then your ratio is not respected, and you don't want to fall into that. So make sure if you have that policy where you don't charge the parents, but you do replace them temporarily, make sure they are aware that from this day to this day is when they are absent, and that their spot has been temporarily filled by a replacement for months. So let's say you do all this and that you still see that, wow, there's a lot of kids missing in my center. Summer rolls around and, people say they're going to be in the center, but then, June, let's say school's out, and a mom that has a few older kids in school decides, you know what, I don't want to go to daycare every day and drop off the third child. Let me just keep everyone at home, right? These are situations that happen all the time, and they're frustrating and they're annoying, but this is business. And as a business owner, you need to find creative ways to bring in income, even though registrations are slower in those months. So I wanted to share a few things that I've done in my center, especially in the beginning when I saw that registrations were slow and that income was taking a dunk. And they helped us out a lot, and hopefully they help you out as well. So the first thing we did, obviously, we had a list of temporary children. So we didn't just replace kids during vacations. We would replace them during the holidays. If a child would call in sick, I would have a list of children who had visited the center. Parents only wanted a part-time position, a part-time spot, and I didn't have one at the time. So I have a list where I have parents that stay at home full-time and don't necessarily want to commit to a full-time contract, right? Like not everyone wants to send their child to a daycare full-time, and that's fine. So have a list available and say, you know what, I don't have a spot right now, but there are times throughout the year that there's spots that are that free up, maybe for vacations, maybe a child has a 3-day weekend with their family. Would you be interested in placing your child's name on this list? So if there is a spot and I know in advance that on this day, so-and-so will be absent, I can call you and you can pay the fee for the day and come in and drop off your child for the day. And there are so many moms that jump on this opportunity just because, during holidays and summer months, spring breaks, when parents need a break to do their things around the house, to go shopping, to do whatever it is that they want to do, they have a place to leave their child. So it's a great thing to start in your center. So whether you're when you have tours and someone tells you they just want a spot part-time and you don't necessarily have one at the moment, invite them to add their child on the list. Maybe you want to market. Maybe you want to place an ad and say, we are presently, accepting children for our temporary on-call list. And have a form where the parents can actually add their name and their phone number and the dates that they would be interested in dropping off their child if there is a spot available that day. So it's very easy to set up, very simple. You can automate it on your website. If you have questions about that, reach out, let me know. I will help you, or maybe potentially make a video about it just to show you how you can create a form on your website that lets parents put their child's name on a temporarily on-call waitlist, right? So reach out, let me know if this interests you. There is a website called hoppingin.com. It's only available in the States. I will post the link below. And this website basically just parents add their kids' names in there, and you as a business owner, you can add your center's information in there. So when you do have a spot that opens up, a parent is going to get alerted, and then they might just show up and drop off their child. Now, I obviously advise you to check this out. I prefer, having the contacts myself, but this is a resource that's available to you. And again, it's hopping, hoppingin, hoppingin.com, but it's only available in the USA. The second thing I did when business was slow, depending on your state, depending on your city, on your province, obviously you check with the law, offer a summer program. So when we first started out, we started off as a preschool, right? We had half days, and the summer times were rough because all the kids would stay home, and we didn't have a lot of kids, and it was tough. So we came up with a summer program, and we accepted older brothers and sisters. So let's say a child would be dropped off in the 3-year-old class, and they had an older brother that was 7. They would be added in our summer program. And, I kept the ages close, right? I didn't want to have kids that were 7 and kids that were 12, right? So we kept the ages really close and really tight. And it was a very small group. It was only one group that we formed. And we just did activities with them, arts and crafts. We went to the park, we went swimming. We went to the movies. It was just a fun thing to offer to parents. Number one, it offers them, a space for their child in the summer, right? So instead of keeping them at home, watching TV all the time, or maybe, the parent had to work and they were stuck in the summer, what would they do with their older child? We offered this for them. And it was just a fun experience for us because it got us working with older kids. And at the same time, it brought in extra income. And this is what I want. I wanted more eyeballs on the business, but I also wanted to generate more income. So we were already paying for rent. We were already paying for the menu and the food that was going to be served. So one of the educators took over the summer program, and it was a blast. And the kids had a good time, the parents had a good time, and again, it served our business well. The third thing we did when business was slow, we lease our space right now, but you could sublease your space. So we had anything from meetings for what's that walk, the Find a Cure walk for breast cancer. They had a meeting in our center. They rented the space for a meeting, and everyone came in and they had a meeting about their marathon. We had rented out the space to a yoga teacher, a hip hop dance teacher that offered classes. So all they did basically was they promoted their own business, right? They promoted their own classes, and we offered a very, very competitive price for an hour or two whenever, when they needed it in the weekends or after hours. And we would just show up, open up the center, and just move all the toys out of their way. And then they just did their class. We've done this with a Mommy and Me groups where someone came in and did dance with Mommy and Me, arts and crafts Mommy and Me groups. And we also did a creative movement dancing group as well. And again, always Mommy and Me groups. It was awesome. I mean, the setting was there. Everything was safe because it is a daycare center during the day, right? So everything was safe into the kids' levels. The parents got to interact with their child. And one of the best things that we did with that is we got so many customers because people that never knew that we existed as a business at the beginning, came in and said, oh, you know what, when, do you have registrations? Do you have spots open? When do you register? Because when my child reaches 18 months, because that's when we start taking them. So when my child reaches 18 months, I would love a spot in your daycare, because they felt comfortable, because they got to know us, they got to know the center, and it gave us obviously extra income for the summer months, but it also actually gave us customers as well. So it's an awesome thing to do. If you have a speech therapist in your area, someone that does Mommy and Me classes, yoga, hip hop, funky dance, just anything that has to do with kids and fun activities, rent out your space. Obviously, if your lease permits it, rent out your space to them. It's a no-brainer. Those were my tips for summer months and the slow months. I hope you found some value. I hope it gave you some ideas. I hope it started, those wheels turning in your head and kind of think of, what, I could do this and I could offer that. And what, that's a good idea. So let me know what you thought. Let me know what you do in your center. If your registrations take a dunk in the summer months or in the winter months or during spring break. Let me know what you do to generate more income, because there's always a way. As business owners, we need to understand that it's, there's highs and there's lows, and it's up to us to get creative, not to give up, and just to keep on moving, finding new ways to make things happen, because this is what we do, right? We make things happen. So make sure you sign up to the YouTube channel you're watching this right now. Make sure you like me on Facebook and on Instagram. And obviously, if you have any questions, reach out. I'd love to connect. I'd love to answer if you're struggling with something. And share the video if you found value. I will post the links to that freebie below this video, so feel free to use it. Bye, guys.